Hello everyone! Today we're bringing you a brand new episode that we're sure you'll all enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any new content, because we post a fresh and exciting episode every day. Now, let's get started with the video. Enjoy watching! The NFL has officially entered an irreversible panic mode because Shedeur Sanders' first start didn't just grab attention, it blew the entire league wide open. It began with a single, staggering transaction. Tickets that were barely selling for $80 instantly jumped to $500 on resale sites the moment his name was confirmed as the starter. That wasn't an ordinary market correction. It was a full-blown cultural shockwave, exposing the league's massive miscalculation. This wasn't just another rookie debut. It was an unprecedented spectacle, a moment of such explosive anticipation that even seasoned executives admitted the reaction was closer to a Super Bowl frenzy than a regular season game. They were caught completely flat-footed, scrambling to adjust camera angles and increase broadcast coverage, because they instantly realized they were watching a potential turning point in NFL history unfold in real time. The craziest part is that none of this was ever supposed to happen. The Browns weren't supposed to be dealing with quarterback chaos, and Shedeur certainly wasn't supposed to be forced into the spotlight this early. Yet here we are, a franchise scrambling for answers, while a rookie with a legendary last name steps onto the field like he's been waiting his whole life for this exact moment. The question isn't whether Shedeur can play. It's why the entire football establishment, from scouts to GMs, was so blind to his power. The answer to that mystery, the true reason this phenom was overlooked, lies deep in the draft process, where a rumoured controversy nearly ended his career before it began. The unexplained draft slide, the real reason teams passed. Shedeur came into the NFL with heavy expectations, but the league was instantly shocked by his unexpected draft slide. Scouts were quietly praising his accuracy, his surgical calmness, and his pocket control, all the traits that define an elite franchise quarterback. Yet team after team passed on him, choosing safer options or players with more traditional, less complicated backgrounds. This wasn't a talent evaluation issue. It was a character one, or at least the perception of one. The untold rumour, the quiet whispers that sank his stock, was that the legendary last name was seen as too big a risk. GMs reportedly feared the constant, unrelenting media circus that came with the Sanders brand, worrying it would destabilize a veteran locker room or create a hierarchy before he even threw his first professional pass. They chose comfort over explosive potential, believing the spotlight that followed the Sanders name was a distraction risk they couldn't afford. This specific rumoured red flag, the fear of a star bigger than the team, was the fatal flaw in the league's logic. It was a projection, a hypothetical concern about celebrity that completely ignored the player's relentless focus and skill. That fatal error in judgment instantly became a joke when the veteran quarterback crisis finally hit Cleveland, and the need for a game-changing leader became a matter of franchise survival. The scouts who passed on him did so out of fear of drama, only to watch as Shedeur was forced to clean up the mess left by the very players they chose instead. Brown's QB room meltdown, the internal collapse that forced the move. The situation in the Browns' quarterback room was far more corrosive than just a string of bad luck and injuries. It was a full-blown internal collapse, a reported rift between key veteran players and the former starting QB. The fan base was losing patience, but behind the scenes, the locker room had already split, with certain leaders privately demanding a change. The fan base needed stability, but what they got was a ticking time bomb of inconsistency and behind-the-scenes drama that was pushing the franchise to a breaking point. Analysts were openly clowning the coaching decisions, and the organization knew change had to come fast, not just for the fans, but to save the internal dynamic. That's when the Shedeur situation exploded. Not because he was simply next up, but because he forced the coaching staff to acknowledge a performance they were desperately trying to ignore. Reports leaked that he wasn't just practicing well, he was cooking. The Browns' starting defense with such shocking efficiency, it created a problem. The true tipping point, the leaked detail that shattered the coach's resolve, came during a 2-minute drill. Shedeur reportedly led the offense down the field for a game-winning touchdown with less than 30 seconds on the clock, delivering pinpoint throws into impossible windows and showcasing a poise under pressure that was utterly foreign to the rest of the unit. Veterans were leaving the field, shaking their heads, saying, "He ain't playing like no rookie." The coaches tried to hide it, but the news of those practice performances, the complete, undeniable domination, leaked out, forcing the fans to demand the starting job immediately. The team didn't have a choice. They didn't promote him because of media hype. They promoted him because he made it utterly impossible not to. Once that announcement hit the internet, the whole league reacted, and the narrative instantly shifted from Cleveland's chaos to the singular, crushing burden Shedeur now carried. Legacy's crushing weight, the untold pressure of Dion's shadow. The moment Shedeur became QB1, the immense crushing weight of the Sanders legacy intensified to an almost unbearable degree. When your father is one of the biggest, most charismatic figures in sports history, the expectations stack up quickly, and critics wait for one single misstep to prove the name is just hype. This isn't just about football. It's about being instantly measured against greatness, a psychological burden that has broken countless other sons and daughters of sports icons. The untold challenge for Shedeur wasn't just mastering the offense. It was walking into a veteran NFL locker room with a level of instant celebrity unmatched by any other rookie. But instead of folding, he embraced it with a cold, almost eerie confidence. Insiders said he walked into meetings with the swagger of a seasoned pro, breaking down film like he'd been in the league for years. He took command of the offense in a way that earned instant, grudging respect. The key wasn't his talking, it was his quiet, laser-focused intensity. That unwavering composure, that ice in his veins, unnerved even the biggest veteran team leaders. The team responded with receivers praising his next-level ball placement and the linemen saying he communicated with a command that made them feel safer in the pocket. But there was also an unspoken resentment from some who had wanted the spotlight for themselves. Forcing Shedeur to not only outperform the veterans on the field, but also master the complex, often cruel, politics of the locker room. That ice-cold confidence didn't just rattle his own teammates, it forced a panicked, drastic rewrite of the opposing team's entire defensive script. Raiders' defensive panic, scrapping the game plan. The ultimate sign of respect wasn't the sold-out stadium or the rising jersey sales. It was the sheer panic that rippled through the Raiders' defensive meeting rooms. The moment they heard Shedeur was starting, their defensive coordinator reportedly scrapped nearly 70% of their existing game plan, a move almost unheard of for a team preparing to face a rookie starter. This wasn't an act of arrogance or underestimation. It was a move driven by fear. The fear of the unknown, and more specifically, the fear of his deadly composure. They knew Shedeur wasn't going to be rattled by the lights, the noise, or the pressure. They feared his poise more than his arm. They focused all their energy not on his physical traits, but on his decision-making from his Colorado highlights, treating him like a seasoned, dangerous veteran, not an unknown rookie. The Raiders' new, desperate plan was all about testing his mental fortitude. Their specific gambit involved an immediate shift to highly aggressive, all-out pressure, combined with complex, systematic pressure. Rotating, disguised coverages. The goal was simple. Force him to overthink, make him feel crowded, and see if the pressure could finally melt the Sanders ice. When a rookie quarterback forces the opposing team to shred and rewrite their entire defensive blueprint in a single week, you know he's already a massive problem that the entire league underestimated. As the defense scrambles to adjust, the Browns' coaching staff is quietly unleashing an entirely new, explosive playbook designed around the one player they passed on. The re-engineered offense, the new blueprint for franchise stability. The Browns' coaching staff, no longer able to hide his talent, completely redesigned their offensive game plan around Shedeur's elite, unique strengths. The old, conservative, predictable Browns offense is officially dead. The new blueprint focuses on quick reads, timing routes, half-field rollout options, and spacing concepts that allow him to attack every single level of the field. The staff saw what everyone else saw. Shedeur is most dangerous when he is in rhythm, reading defenses like open books and firing the ball into tight windows that other rookies wouldn't even attempt. This wasn't just a personnel change, it was a philosophical shift, transforming the team into a dynamic, fast-paced unit. The chemistry with the receivers clicked instantly. Multiple players reported that this was the sharpest, most energized week of practice all season, attributing it directly to his next-level ball placement, which gives them the confidence to attack every route without hesitation. Defensively, the entire team is feeding off the energy of his debut, with analysts noting the unit has been more intense, emotional, and inspired since Shedeur took over the QB1 reps. It's almost like his presence has instantly ignited the entire locker room. That's what true leaders do, not by talking, but by immediately elevating the energy and expectations of everyone around them. As the stadium fills to its absolute limit, the final sign of his readiness emerged during warm-ups. Shedeur looked absolutely smooth and surgical, delivering dimes all over the field, completely unfazed by the roaring crowd and the dozens of cameras locked onto his every move. His body language was described as unshakable and built for the spotlight, the moment of truth and the future of the NFL. Everything is now set for a defining spectacle. The revamped, explosive offense, the panicked, over-adjusting opposing defense, and the biggest, most emotional crowd Cleveland has seen in almost a decade. This game is not just about football anymore. It's about a legacy, a desperate franchise, and a player who is ready to expose the truth about a league that wrongly doubted him. Shedeur isn't just carrying the weight of the Browns' season. He's carrying the Sanders name into a new era, facing a pressure that would crush 99% of players. The tension is almost unbearable, amplified by the unspoken desire of rival GMs who secretly need him to fail, just to justify their catastrophic draft day decisions. If Shedeur rises to the moment, and every single sign points toward a breakout performance, the Browns franchise will be irrevocably changed. Fans are begging for a hero. The coaching staff is desperate for stability, and he has the chance to flip the entire narrative of this season, restoring hope to a city starving for a star. If he wins this game in front of this sold-out crowd, with the NFL watching worldwide, his name will explode across every sports network by sunrise. The world is now watching Shedeur Sanders rise in real time, waiting to see if he becomes the NFL's newest star. This is the type of moment that doesn't just create a franchise quarterback. It launches an era.